Greetings, everyone. Welcome to a new episode of the Digital Gaming Play podcast. My name is Evelyn Velasquez. I'm digital editor of Digital Game News. In this episode, we are thrilled to have a very special guest who will provide us with insights into the Europe's most prominent events. One of them is SBC Barcelona. Welcome to Dennis Algreen, marketing director of SBC Events. Thank you for being here, Dennis.
Thank you very much for having me. Love it.
And let's begin, Dennis. It would be a pleasure to dive into the fascinating story behind SBC Barcelona. Could you share with us when this event was first initiated and what motivated the choice of this destination?
Yeah, of course. I mean, actually, the event was supposed to launch in 2020. We had announced the event as well for 2020, but COVID put a natural stop to that. Instead, we did it kind of in a digital format in 2020. And then as COVID started subsiding a little bit in 2021, we just managed to squeeze this event in September as actually the first large-scale event of the industry after COVID. So this was the first time that everybody started meeting up in person again. Yeah. And that was a real pleasure. We saw a lot of interest. People were very thrilled to be back meeting face to face. I think while technology can do a lot for us, it won't replace the person-to-person interaction, especially not in an industry like this.
Okay, and what do you think that sets this event apart among all the other industry events, and why has it grown so quickly in popularity?
Well, I mean, we quickly went with the both the venue, the location in Barcelona has been extremely popular. I think it's a great destination for an event. There's a lot of hospitality. There's a lot of lovely restaurants and stuff to experience outside of the event as well. So I think that's pivotal. And then it's got a good position for a global event at the end, kind of towards the back end of the calendar in end of September. We all know that, most people or a lot of people meet up at the beginning of the year to kind of kick off the year, get those sales deals in, map out the year. And then in September is when most companies start planning for next year. What product launches, who do we need to work with, get everything in place for the turnaround of the year. So that position in the calendar is pivotal in that sense. And then I think just in terms of what the way we do that event is we focus it on kind of two sides of the coin, right? There's the quality in attendance, which means that all attendees are interested and there to do business. We don't have random walk-ins because our ticket prices simply don't really facilitate that. We also make sure that the quality in execution at the event and the conference tracks are top-notch so that we can continue to make sure that, everybody has something to learn. Everybody has something to gain from going to the event. And then I think we've done a few things to tweak that to make it scalable to a larger event than we've ever done before. One of the key things being we've got these 5 zones that the event is made up of. And if you attend an event for now 15,000 attendees this year, where do you go, right? There's a very large show floor, 38,000 square meters. Where are you going to find the contacts you're looking for? And that's what the 5 zones are meant for. So whether you're looking for sports betting, iGaming, kind of emerging technologies, affiliates, or payments, they all have their own zones, right? And that's a dedicated zone in the exhibition, making it easy to find those exhibitors and sponsors that you're looking for. They're in the zone. It's easy to find them. And also the conference agendas, meaning that each zone has its own conference track, so that if you are interested in payments, well, then there is conveniently in the payment zone, there is a stage that also has all the conference content about payments. It makes it a little bit easier for that many delegates to kind of navigate, and something that we feel builds something that's really scalable and can still maintain the quality and the concentration that you want as a delegate, but also provide a global aspect for everybody, right? It covers all verticals and all global geographic locations.
Great. That's very, very smart of this event to have 5 different zones. So it will be very easy for the attendees to find what they are looking for. And looking ahead to the upcoming realization of SBC Barcelona, we are eager to learn about the kinds of contents and educational sessions that are being prepared to enhance participants' experiences.
Yeah, I'm glad you say educational sessions as well, because the thing is, we always do conference panels, right? They are usually educational in nature, but they're also a little bit, they're always just the speaker or the speakers, the panels, speaking to the audience, providing information for the audience. However, what we've done for this year is we've added quite a lot of content that's a little bit more interactive in nature. So whatever verticals, whatever topics we're covering, you have the panel sessions for their overarching kind of strategic discussions, the C-levels discussing and decision makers discussing some of the future of the industry, essentially, right? But in smaller parts. And then you have more focused roundtables and workshops for specific topics, right? So if you've got a specific market that you're looking at, and that goes all the way from like the major European markets, Germany, France, UK, Italy, Spain itself, of course, but also to specific topics, like if you are specifically interested in game development, or you're specifically interested in SEO if you're an affiliate, or you just need to step up your game in your marketing. There are specific topics on those, and those are going to be more interactive in terms of audience participation and questions. And on roundtables, the audience is part of the discussion, right? It's a very small knit group talking about specific topics, and then we'll cover everything, right? I think that's the easiest way to say it. All verticals will be covered. That's why we've got a separate track for every single zone as well. We have some of the hottest topics that are kind of, AI, for instance. What's the impact of AI on the industry? How can different types of companies utilize AI, whether it's for, data gathering, if it's for marketing, content creation, or just for data on their existing betting platform, just to provide an extra layer in that. So that's one of the hotter topics. And then you've always got these kind of wider topics about, leadership, strategy. Those elements are in there, but they're streamlined towards, usually specific verticals, whether that's gaming, iGaming, or it's sports betting. So it really covers everything in that sense. And I think everybody will find something that they will take away that they've learned from the event.
Yes, and given the growing interest in the Latin American market, are you considering offering specific sessions or conferences focused on this region during the SBC Barcelona?
Yes, we have a few topics. I mean, everybody talks about Brazil at the moment, right? That's the big one. And I think we have launched and announced that we will do an event in Rio next year, a pretty large scale event as well. However, in the Barcelona event and within there's still a few activities and gatherings for people to not only learn about some of these markets in Latin America, Brazil being one of them. There's a few others that are still very much worth a look. But it's also making sure that they're covered on the conference agenda, but they're also covered with networking elements. So we're doing a few both roundtables on specifically the Latin markets on Brazil, and we also we'll have a meetup, as in what we just refer to as a social gathering, a chance to just go with a mutual interest in and around the Latin American markets and network with those stakeholders there, whether they be affiliates who can provide traffic, media who can provide promotion and coverage, or operators who are either looking to expand their operation or might already have some form of an operation in the area.
Yes, definitely. Networking is very important. for the market in this region. And one of the points of significant interest is learning about the sponsors who are supporting the SBC Barcelona event. Could you share with us who has come on board as collaborators in this occasion?
I probably can, but I'll be honest with you. So we have over 350 sponsors and exhibitors for this. So before I start just naming names, what I will say is that what we've seen so far is a massive interest from sponsors and exhibitors, and that it just helps build on the momentum of the event. It helps fill out a massive floor plan. We were fortuitous enough that even early on this year, the majority of the floor plan was already sold, right? Everybody really wanted a piece. And I think people take to that concept that they want the quality in delegates, they know we will deliver that. They want the quality in execution, then they know we will deliver that. So everybody will be represented. There's going to be sports data providers, there's going to be game studios, there's going to be affiliates, there's going to be operators exhibiting because they are looking to meet affiliates.
Yes.
And there's going to be payment providers, right? All of those groups are going to be not only represented, but they're going to be globally represented. So we have a very, very wide diversity in the exhibiting and sponsoring companies, just like we will in the delegates and the attendees. They really represent the majority of the global industry.
Wow.
So that's one of the things we've seen as well. Much more interest both from like outside of Europe, especially North America, South America, Asia, Oceania. And that means for a very wide aspect. There's a couple of really big ones there, and people will be able to take in some very, very large booths this year. And hopefully they'll look as cool as they have in the past.
The sports betting and gambling industry is constantly evolving, and it's exciting to contemplate the emerging trends that are expected to take center stage at SBC Barcelona. Could you provide us with a preview of these trends that will be addressed during the event?
Yeah, of course. I mean, some of them will be scattered throughout the agenda because they relate to specific topics, but a lot of it will be gathered in and around the emerging tech zone, which means that they will be discussing like topics like Web 3.0. What's the impact of that coming up? It's still something that's being talked about, but I think a lot of people have very little concept of what it actually is or what impact it could have for their business. So that's important to understand. We talked about AI before, AI in marketing or in targeting or in prospecting. There's a lot of opportunities out there. And then you've got still a blockchain, is still NFTs, is still a technology that can really do much for the industry. And I think we've only really scratched the surface of where that could take us. I think the metaverse is another one of those kind of elusive topics that gets thrown around. What is the metaverse? I can't say for sure that I know entirely what it is, also because technically it doesn't even exist yet. It's just something that we think is going to exist, or we know is going to exist. As a highlight of the event, actually, we have one of the foremost experts on the topic of the metaverse, Matthew Ball. So he's going to give a keynote during the event. He's a best-selling author and has a book specifically about the metaverse and about some of the impacts it will have on both ours, but also other industries.
Thank you very much, Dennis. In conclusion, it would be a great value to hear your advice to the professionals and companies that are planning to attend SBC Barcelona. What can you tell to the attendees and the companies that will be there?
Yeah, I think in my experience, from the 7+ years I've been in this industry now, I would say this is very much an industry that is based on relationships, right? It's based on the trust that we develop between individuals and human beings that eventually represent companies. And that's how business is done, which means that when you go to an event like ours, do not underestimate the networking opportunities. We build an exhibition floor that's full of meeting spaces. It's full of little interactive elements that's just fun and make for a lighthearted way of sometimes breaking the ice with a new contact. The evening events are worth attending. I think we've shown that in the past as well. Oftentimes they are more popular than maybe we could even, cover. And I think that's one of the most important things. And then I would say, at an event like Barcelona, use the zones and the agenda to your advantage. And what I mean by that is that the zones give you an indicator of where the people you need to talk to and you want to talk to will be at the event, and the agenda even more so. If you have a specific company that you're looking to contact, if you've even got a specific contact you're looking to kind of connect with, maybe they're speaking. And if they're speaking on the agenda, that's a unique opportunity where you know exactly where that person will be at a specific time. And when you've got an event of this scale, you're going to need to kind of work that navigation into it to find the right people.
Thank you very much, Dennis. We are eager to see this successful event this year. And thank you very much for sharing your experience and being in these sessions with us today. Thank you very much.
Welcome. Thank you very much for having me. It was a delight. Thanks.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Dennis.